was always false.
Boom! How's it going, comrades? This is Wes, aka Dr. Fumbles here, but not with another reaction. We're gonna do something kind of different today, rather tonight. It's actually kind of late, but I won't lie, guys. I had something to get off my chest. And I'm pretty sure you can see from the title what it is. Man, guys, it was a while ago. It was maybe a couple of weeks ago when I finished the show, Arcane. And normally I can move on from a show. You know what I mean? I can definitely move past from a show. But damn it, guys, there was just something about the show that hung on to me. That's like the music, the atmosphere of it. The show was so great. Now, if you're here watching this video, I'm sure you are feeling the same way. Um, and I'm sure you've seen dozens and dozens of review videos. So I'm just gonna let you guys know this per se isn't really gonna be a review. You've seen the reviews. You already know it's a good show. And if you haven't, go watch it. Do yourself a favor, go watch, especially if you're into animated shows. Trust me. But um, this isn't gonna be like a really typical review video, just because, like I said, for one, I don't think I'm really any good at reviews, but also just because I want to do something different. It's nothing gonna be too different, but what I'm gonna do is there are certain scenes that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna rate these scenes from 5 to 1. Scenes that I think had the deepest impact on the show, and rather the deepest impact on me as the viewer watching it. On which shows I think had they were the most impactful for me for the show. Um, and of course, now keep in mind, guys, that my opinion doesn't reflect the opinions of everyone else, or the writers or whatever. Like, what I'm sharing is just that, an opinion. So if there's something, but if something that you disagree with, please kindly please kindly put it in the comments, and just let me know what your thoughts are. All right. But I want to go ahead and hop right into this, guys. So first, let me just say, as a disclaimer, because I know some people don't really know common sense isn't going to be a reaction. Now I am going to be watching certain scenes with you guys. Again, this is so I can we can review the scene, talk about the scene after I'm done watching it. But I've already seen it, and man, damn it, guys, I really wish I would have reacted to it. I really wish I would have. I just didn't know it would be this good. That show had no right being that damn good. Like, it didn't. And another quick disclaimer: I've never played League of Legends, guys, but man, I tell you, like, watching this made me definitely want to start. I don't know. Like, I guess let me know your thoughts on that too. So there are 5 scenes that I've picked that I thought within all these 9 episodes, 5 scenes that stood out the most to me, that I thought were the most impactful. And I'm just gonna go from 5 being the least, 1 to being the most impactful, and I'm just gonna yeah, guys, we're just gonna go through them. So let's start. Number 5, Victor gets Sky killed. Episode 8, titled Oil and Water. Yeah, this is when he starts, like, oh man, I just thought it was so sad. I thought this was so sad. Because obviously you knew that this chick had a thing for him. And this guy is just enhancing his body. And apparently, I think Victor must be a big character in the game, because I know I've heard that a lot of people lost their shit when he introduced himself. Look, man, she's just working up the courage to ask him out and stuff. That's so good, man.
I was inspired by your everything you do.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted that to work out for her. Yo, just imagine that. Walking up in there and seeing that. Seeing your crush get stuck into like a... You wouldn't even know what to think. Oh, dude. She literally tried to save this man's life, not realizing what she was... Damn, dude. That's so messed up. Well, plus side, he got himself a new leg.
Sky? No.
Turned her into dust.
That can't. That can't.
I just thought this scene, I feel like this scene, in my opinion, seems to be kind of underestimated just because there's so many other scenes in the show that are very, very sad and deep, with deeper meaning. I feel like this scene can get a little bit overlooked. And and I don't mean just feeling bad for Victor because I do feel kind of bad for Victor, but I also feel really bad for Sky just because she walked up in there was really just trying to have the courage to talk to him. She had a crush on him. She wanted to get to know him, and she finally worked up the courage to do it. And when she did, she dies in a pretty bad way. That thing it took her essence and made her a part of it, like the hex core, and turned the rest of her into dust. And I'm just that's so messed up. And another reason why I also found this scene so sad is just because later on, and I believe it might be it's in episode 9, but later on, he goes to commit suicide. He goes to jump. And the reason why I felt that was such a good scene is just also is because Jace comes in, Jace approaches him right before he jumps, and then he tells him a line that Victor told him before, which was
Am I interrupting?
it was such a really good callback because it was how they both met each other. And I just felt like all of that came from this one scene here with him not knowingly sacrificing Sky's life. Number 4, Echo versus Jinx, episode 7, The Boy Savior. This scene was one like the dopest scene in the show.
Oh, look who it is. The boy savior.
The Boy Savior. She's like such a Harley Quinn, bro. Starts ticking the clock. Yo, so good. And like how it just goes on beat with the song. I love you watching this. I love you watching these scenes, guys. But see, the reason I thought this thing was just like, even though it was epic as hell, it was dope. It's pretty sad. I mean, they're childhood friends, and they're essentially about to fight each other to the death. Ooh, and the song, though? Her biting her lip, though. I love how he used like his childhood memories to essentially dodge her bullets. I mean, she had to know what he was planning. This part scared me though because I thought that like when she shoots him with the paint, I thought that she had actually got him. I was like, oh, that sucks. And I also heard that this scene is actually an homage to he's got some kind of time abilities or something, and this was like an Easter egg. Got her. Mm. And I thought this scene was so visceral. Just couldn't do it. That's so sad, man. Damn, that's sad. And of course, that crazy, this crazy chick, bro. Like let's blow us both. Jesus. I thought that scene was so well done. So well done, guys. Like the way that the art style changed and everything. Like with the song. By the way, that song is actually called Dynasty in Dystopia, and it is a banger. It is one of my basically is one of my favorite songs. There's only one other song that I like, and it's pretty much starts at the intro of this episode, which was called the Misfit Toys. Man, both those songs were so great, and seeing hearing the song play during this scene just made it seem so much more epic. After the scene, it got so sad. It got so sad just because you see, like they're literally fighting to the death, and they they care for each other. Like I saw a comment on one of these videos at one point, and it basically said something like, he was ready to kill Jinx, but he wasn't ready to kill Powder. And that's exactly when that look on her, that look that she gives him. That was a look that Powder, to him, Powder just wasn't dead. At least not yet. Before, he had basically stated that she was dead because Powder wouldn't do all the stuff that Jinx is doing. But it proves that he didn't believe that. Echo saw that there was some powder left in her, which is why he couldn't do it. And the funny thing is, it's like if you look at her face, she she goes from this look of like, oh my gosh, he's actually about to kill me, and then after he hesitates, she smiles, and but it's not like an evil smile either. It was more of like a relieved smile, like almost as if she was like thinking to herself, like he still sees me. You know what I mean? Like he still like to him, I'm not too far gone, and I think that's what relieved her. It gave her some kind of solace. But I guess she felt that she was too far down this road that she walked, and so she was just like, the only path now is just to blow us both up. I guess. But yeah, guys, that was definitely why I had definitely had to put this scene on my list. So now, guys, we're about to get into the top three. Number three, Light It Up, episode 6, titled "When These Walls Come Tumbling Down." This scene was epic as hell, especially with the song.
You are lighted up.
Mm-hmm.
Find you.
Oh, so beautiful. When I first saw this scene, I won't lie, I teared up a bit. Especially at there's a certain part that really got me that really teared me up a bit. This scene right here, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Literally carrying that weight, guys. Literally carrying that weight. She has carried out that like that's it's man. She is literally one of the most tragic characters of a show I've ever seen. I'm not sure if she's the most tragic, but she's definitely one of the most. I like how she just flips this guy off. She's like, screw you. And he just stumping the hell out of some like officer or some dude that got on his bad side. And Vi sees it. She sees it. Oh man, and the song's lyrics was so profound, especially during this scene. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard this song, definitely check this song out. By the way, guys, the song is actually called Guns for Hire. Man, guys, this scene was deep. And all she did was light up a flare. But it's what it represented. It showed you that Powder was there. She wanted her sister back. She still believed in Vi, that Vi would find her. Even though that was like a million to one chance. 'Cause I'm like, what are the odds that like she would see that flare? I mean, I don't know. I guess she knew that she was there, maybe, right? But regardless, I mean, just her just lighting up the flare and it's just some random high spot that she could find, and then that vibe finally finds her. And the reason why I also think this scene is so good and definitely deserves to be in my top three is because of what this scene leads to when Vi actually does find her. And they have the reunion, and then she hugs her. And then Jinx, Powder, she doesn't even know if she's real or not. She actually even asks her, like, are you real? It's just and it just shows you like that one line alone kind of also just shows you just how broken her mind got, as she got older and older and older. How mental illness is a son of a bitch, guys. When the firelights attack and Powder just starts letting loose with the Gatling gun, and Vi even looks at her like, "Whoa, she different." That she even told her that she's changed. But man, like the scene, I will say, even though the scene is number three on my list, this was definitely the most cinematic scene of of the show. Period. This was like in terms of cinematography, camera work, music. This was definitely the most cinematic scene of the entire show. Don't get me wrong. There are some other good cinematic scenes, like the scene with Vi walking through the town, and the Imagine Dragon songs are playing. That was a pretty good cinematic scene too. But no, in terms of cinematography, this scene definitely takes the cake. Number two, Silkos Death, Episode 9, The Monster You Created. Guys, this scene is what broke me. Ooh, but the end of her life.
You see, now finish it.
Damn it, Powder!
Another reason why I thought this scene was pretty sad is because of this right here.
Remember.
Vi's telling her to remember all these people, like Milo. But look at this, they're all monsters to her.
Don't listen to her!
That's so sad, man. And look, Silko, he sees that it's hurting her. And so he tries to protect her. But Powder committed one last act. Protect her sister. You could say that Powder killed Jinx's father. And basically, Jinx is going to kill Powder. Man, I won't lie. I didn't see this coming. This definitely surprised me.
I never would have given you to them. Not for anything.
Oof. And I believe him. I believe him.
You're perfect.
That you're perfect. And that's all she needed. That was all the affirmation she needed. Damn, dude. This really made me feel for Silco. It really did. Ooh, yep. Died inside. Such a very heartfelt, deep scene, guys. Especially because what this scene leads to. This scene was so heartbreaking. I mean, just the whole thing with like Vi yelling, telling her to remember all these people, and yet all these people she's telling Powder to remember are all monsters to her. And I just think that was one of the saddest things of all in this scene. And then when Silco just sees her in so much pain, he picks up the gun to try to silence Vi, but then Powder breaks through and it takes him out. And then just man, like just him saying that, like I never would have given you to him. I never would have done it. Like and don't cry. You're perfect. You're perfect as Jinx. You don't need to be Powder. And it was interesting because the scene where Vi almost reaches Powder because she tells Vi that we can just go, just the two of us, but then like Soko speaks up and was like, no, because see, you'll be with her for like a day, and she'll realize that you're not the same person anymore, and then she'll leave you just like she did last time. The only person who's gonna look out for you is me because I like the new you. And his point was, I guess, that Vi doesn't, and he's not wrong. Vi she's seeing all these things that Jinx has done, and seeing the way that she changes. Like it's funny because she's been seeing it throughout the entire series, or well, from the moment that she first reunited with her, she's been seeing all of the things that has changed Jinx. Like she's been seeing like how batshit she is now, and how during this scene she saw like the dolls and everything that it's crazy, man. And just for the way that this scene ended up, it was it's so tragic. Just because like basically I've heard that this show is essentially the prequel to the game, and it shows you how a war started, I believe. Then again, I don't know too much about League of Legends, but I heard in League of Legends there's some kind of war going on, and I could only surmise the wars between what like Zaun and Piltover, I'm assuming, and this is showing you how that war started. And if that's the case, this scene right here was the start of that war, right here, the very start of it. Very tragic. So, guys, before we get to number one on the list, I do have some honorable mentions. It was just scenes that I did find pretty sad, deep, or just impactful in one way or another, but they just wasn't impactful or deep enough, for me at least, to make it on my list. So, these are just some honorable mentions. First honorable mention is when Jinx gets resurrected, more or less, when the doctor, he's essentially injecting her with the I believe it was with the shimmer, and he's bringing her back to life, and she's freaking out, and she's having hallucinations of both Vi and Caitlyn, and she's got blue hair, and which and I thought that was pretty low key hilarious thing that she had blue hair, because I, you know, obviously Potter was going to think that she's replacing her, which I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, why couldn't her hair been, why could she been a blonde? But I just thought this scene was pretty sad, just because like you see during the hallucination what they shoot her or something, and you see the boys just stand over her and they're laughing at her, like this is what how she feels, that Vi would legit abandon her for Caitlyn. And then something that was so sad to me is when the doctor is injecting her with stuff to, with the shimmer, and it's like torture to her. But like she puts Caitlyn's face on this man, and it just goes to show you where her headspace is at, guys. It was a pretty sad. I thought it deserved an honorable mention. The next one, Vi slaps Powder. She, yeah, the scene. I thought that scene was definitely sad. I definitely wanted to add the scene onto my list. It's just these other scenes I thought, in my opinion, just was so much more sadder, or at least have a bigger impact on the show than this one. Maybe it was because for me this thing it was so early in the show. I don't know. You guys can tell me your thoughts, but I did think it was very sad, just because this was pretty much the start of it. This is basically Jinx's origin story, and her story is she gets her friends killed, her family killed, basically, her father killed, and Vi blames her. In that moment, Vi blames her, tells her, "I told you to stay away," slaps her, and then leaves her. But she was coming back. I don't think that Vi left her. She just needed space. She needed to process, and she couldn't do that looking at her. You know what I mean? And the way she's Vi's you know, a fist person. She's an immovable force. You know what I mean? She doesn't know how to be gentle, in my opinion. And it just, that rage came out, and unfortunately, Silko finds her, and it's what makes it seem so tragic, because it just leads to a lot of other shit that's just that's even more tragic. This next one, when essentially Jace kills that kid. I thought that scene was very sad. The reason why I didn't put it on my list, though, I did find it to be a really impactful scene. But the reason I didn't put it on the list is because, to me, it didn't stay long enough to have a deeper impact on me than I would have liked. The thing I found the saddest about this scene was really Vi. And the reason why is because, so he's just having this crisis of like, oh my God, I just smoked the kid, dude. Like, and by the way, that scene where the kid falls and just hits the very visceral. And he just having this reaction like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. We cannot go to war with these people. These kids will die. And Vi is just like, no, we have to go to war, because if you don't, more kids will die. She's like, you think this is bad? This is just a Tuesday afternoon for me. You know how many kids I've seen died? To a point where this doesn't even affect me anymore. I've seen it, and it's going to keep happening unless we stop Silco, which is something she was trying to get him to understand. But it's just that for him, it was just too much, because he smoked the kid. He did that. That kid, he shot that kid with a hammer. It was by accident, but he did that, and it messed with him. It something like that would turn you into a pacifist real quick. It was a really good scene too. This next one I think there's just an honorable mention is the scene where Mel and her mother talk. Now, I'll be the first to admit that for Mel, I low key didn't really care much for her character, just because I felt like she did a lot of like flip flopping between as to what she wanted to do with the hex tech, and to be honest, her motivations didn't really make sense to me, to be honest. Like every other character and their motivations, they made sense to me. Hers didn't. And maybe it's because I feel like she didn't get really a lot of even though she got a good bit of screen time, I just felt like I kind of wish we would have gotten a bit of a deeper story into her. I know. We kind of did. It's just I don't know. Her character just didn't resonate with me all that well. Won't lie though, she was very beautiful though. And this scene is where Mel is having a conversation with her mother about why she chose to exile her from their country. And now like I said, Mel didn't really have much of an impact on me for this show. To me, in my opinion, I felt like she really only served to really give Jace character development, really. In terms of her and this scene, I did like this scene really because of her mom. She basically asks her mother why she exiled her. And her mother basically tells her, because you weakened me, you know? And I thought this was because, you can tell that her mom was a savage. Her mom was something else. She'd take your life and wouldn't hesitate and wouldn't even blink on doing it. Her mom was like a straight up warrior. And she basically was just telling her that like every time she would make a harsh decision, she says like, you'd look at me in that way and I couldn't, her conscience got, started getting in the way, it's like I can't let my daughter see me doing things like this. So I got to send her away so that way I can do my job, you know? And I thought that was a pretty deep scene, it did impact me a little bit because I was like, oh wow, that's a pretty deep scene, but like I said, the reason why it's just like an honorable mention is because there's a lot more scenes that there are a lot more impactful to me that made it to the list. Last honorable mention, guys, is when Jinx fires her rocket launcher. Um, Now I'm pretty sure to most people it's going to be way more impactful, especially for people who play the game, because apparently that rocket launcher has some super significant meaning. I think it's something it represents Silco or something, right? So the reason why this scene didn't make it onto my list is because really this scene, the thing that leads to this scene is the scene that's already on my list, which is Silko's death. So with him dying, this leads to that. So and I just thought that scene, his death scene, was a lot more sad than this scene. Even though in this scene, you had the song playing, which was pretty sad, and that song's also called "What Could Have Been," by the way. And another reason that made this scene so sad is the song itself, like the lyrics, man. Listen to the lyrics, like especially when it starts, like the song says the title, I am the monster you created. That's how the song starts off, which I'm like, what? And when she just fires that launcher and he's just traveling across the moon, and then you see Caitlyn's face and it transitions to her mom. Like in the sad thing about that scene is that they all was voting for peace, and Jinx just started an entire war, bro. Even though it didn't make it onto my list, I definitely thought it deserved an honorable mention. All right, guys. So now, without further ado, I know you guys are wondering what scene could possibly be sadder than all of the ones I just stated. Number 1, Silco talking to Vander's statue. Episode 9, The Monster You Created. This is also like
1,000 times
one of my
better this
favorite
one.
scenes in the
Never
entire
like
series.
this. All we ever wanted. The boy didn't even haggle. And what
Dude,
do I lose but problems?
yo, like he was everything he
Oh, it
said
all makes
here,
sense now, brother.
everything he says here is Shakespearean, guys. That one scene too, that one line. Oh, it all makes sense now, brother. Like he pours the alcohol for him, bro. Like he finally understood him. Like he knew.
Is there anything so undoing as a daughter?
Damn. And this right here was really sad as well. Man, guys, that scene, it's just that scene alone, that line that he delivered, just that line. Oh, it all makes sense now, brother. Like honestly, you know what would have been really cool? Because I feel like that line right there in itself just said everything that needed to be said. You know, that he finally knew what Van like he because you know I felt like with Silco, he never really understood Vander. Why did you start playing nice with the you know with Piltover? You know, why did you betray me? He never got it until now. You know that like a parent would pretty much do anything to protect their child. And Vi and Potter were his daughters, and he would die for them. He did die for them. And now Silco was like sitting there at his statue going, I get it. He's like, I understand now. I get where you were coming from. And it all just came from that line,
Oh, it all makes sense now, brother.
which I hear this is a line that a lot of people go crazy for too. But I understand. I understand why. It's such a good line. Like, honestly, they could have had this scene, the way this scene played out, they could have had this scene where he wouldn't have to say anything. He's sitting there, right? Right under Vander's statue. Just staring in space in deep thought. And like the only thing he just says is just he looks up at Vander's statue, right? Then looks back down. The only thing he says, "Oh, it all makes sense now, brother." If he's that that right there would have been I would have been like, "Oh my God." And of course, then if he had done that, maybe he'd be in a bit more in a more better position with Jinx because I guess hearing all everything that he when he's saying out loud, Jinx hears him and she takes it as like a, oh my gosh, he's going to give me up. When in reality he was never going to give her up. I do wonder though if he contemplated it, like if he considered it, like you know I could. It was I think he did because he like, he even said so. Like he was like, what do I lose but problems? You know, I lose nothing but problems if I do this. And yet he could not do it because he loved her. Like it was his daughter. He looked at her as his daughter. And I love that the reason why this thing is number one on my list is because it shows you just how much development Silco got. Not just that, but just the understanding of Vander's sacrifice. You know? He understood it. You know, he even paid respect to him by, you know, dumping the liquor on, you know, in the water. He even paid respect to him. And, you know, and even was like, man, like, there's nothing as I'm making as a daughter. She unmade you and she's finna make me now. And she did, quite literally. But yes, guys, it was Silco that is the reason why this scene is definitely number one on my list. Well, guys, that was it for those things. It's just stuff that I wanted to talk about, stuff I wanted to get off my chest, just because, like I said, man, I've looked up so many reaction videos of this show, looked up so many review videos, and I still can't stop thinking about this show. Um, I really, really wish I would have reacted to this, guys. I wish I could have reacted to it. It's just something that I wasn't thinking of at the time. I didn't think the show would be that good. I saved it onto my Netflix, and I was just like, you know what? Check the show out. Like after the third episode, I was like, oh my God, I should have reacted to the show. Which I was 3 episodes in, so it was too late. So I was like, screw it. You know, I didn't want to just start at the middle, you know, and just, you know, but I also wanted to tell you guys my thoughts and feelings on it because I wanted to react to it so badly. But I guess I'll also ask you guys because I know they're definitely I hear they're making a season two. I even hear it's in production already. But although I did hear that this season took them like 6 to 10 years to complete, which I was like, what? So how long is it going to take them to make season two? I'm hoping not as long, since they kind of have like a groundwork. I'm assuming it took them that long to make this masterpiece, maybe because they had to build it from ground up. But now the groundwork is laid out, right? So I feel like they just got to build upon this, and obviously, make it, make it hit harder than the first season. But I feel like it should, like maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe we'll get season two. I'm hoping sooner, maybe in a year or so. But realistically speaking, if it took them 6 years to make like this season, then I'm thinking like 2 to 3 years to make the second season. But I guess let me know what your thoughts are. How long do you guys think it will take them to make the second season? Also, let me know if you guys would like me to react to it. Because I'm gonna lie, like if you're like, yeah, you know, I do not mind watching this on my own time. I sure will. But I would definitely react to it. If you guys want me to react to it, it's gonna suck for me because it means I'm gonna have to stay off from watching it until I'm ready to react to it. If I'm working to another show at that point, I'm gonna have to wait until I'm done with that show to watch this show. So that could be torturous for me. But if you guys want me to react to it, I would definitely do that because I definitely would not mind reacting to it, sharing my thoughts and reaction with you guys. That's why I do reaction videos. So just let me know your thoughts. But yeah, guys, I feel better. I got that off my chest. I feel like we're just talking about this show. I guess post in the comments, man, like how much you love the show, guys. Thumbs up if you love this show. All right, guys. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me a tremendous amount. If you have not already, want to subscribe. I post Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. If you guys have any comments about this video or anything like that, but please no spoilers. So don't give me any, because I know this is a prequel to the game. So if there's something that's spoilery that the game does that could be in season two, please don't tell me. Which I mean, I doubt it. So if you have any interesting comments, guys, post them below. I love reading guys' comments. Also, if you have any suggestions on what tricks to react to next, post those as well. And if something I have not seen, I will take a look at them. Till the next video, guys, I'm seeing nothing but mad love. Stay awesome. Deuces.
Oh,